You know that warm, aromatic cup of coffee you enjoy every single morning? Well, it has a story. It's a wild journey that stretches across centuries and continents, packed with legends, revolutions, and yeah, some hidden costs. In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the incredible story behind the world's favorite drink.
So, just to get a sense of how much we love coffee, think about this number: 2 billion. That's how many cups of coffee are consumed around the world every single day. It's an absolutely mind-boggling figure, and it really shows you just how central it is to our daily lives.
But coffee is so much more than just a morning pick-me-up, right? It's a cultural ritual, it's a social thing, and it's a massive economic powerhouse. In fact, it's the second most traded commodity on the entire planet, right behind oil. I mean, how crazy is that?
So what exactly is this stuff that we're all so obsessed with? Before we trace its incredible history, let's just quickly get on the same page about what's actually in your cup.
Okay, so even though there are over 100 different kinds of coffee plants out there, almost everything we drink boils down to just two: Arabica and Robusta. Arabica makes up the lion's share of the world's coffee, and it's known for those smooth, complex flavors. Robusta, well, the name kind of gives it away. It's a tougher plant with a much stronger, bolder taste and a serious caffeine kick.
So how in the world did we discover this magical bean in the first place? Well, for that, our story has to start with a legend, way back in the 9th century coffee forests of Ethiopia. That's right, you heard me correctly. Dancing goats. The legend goes that a goat herder was completely stumped when he saw his flock get super energetic and playful, almost like they were dancing around.
So this herder, his name was Caldi. He decided to figure out what was going on, and he traced their bizarre behavior to a specific shrub. He saw they were munching on these bright red berries. So, naturally, he got curious, tried the berries for himself, and felt that same jolt of energy.
Caldi took his discovery to a monk at a monastery nearby, and the monk, who was looking for something to keep him awake during long evening prayers, had an idea. He brewed a drink from the berries, and just like that, the world's very first cup of coffee was born.
From that one legendary cup in an Ethiopian monastery, coffee started this unbelievable journey across the globe, spreading from one culture to the next and changing everything.
First, it spread across the Arabian Peninsula in the 15th century, becoming totally central to life there. Then, by the 17th century, it finally arrived in Europe, and it sparked this massive coffeehouse craze in all the big cities. And by the 19th century, it was a full-blown global commodity, with plantations popping up all over the colonial empires.
And these European coffeehouses, they were way more than just places to grab a drink. People called them penny universities, because for the price of a cup of coffee, you could listen in on and join these amazing intellectual debates. It's even said that Isaac Newton's groundbreaking work, Principia, was basically born out of a debate in a London coffeehouse.
But, and you knew there was a but coming, this global obsession wasn't all good news. The explosive growth of the coffee industry came with some really serious and often totally unseen consequences for both people and the planet.
Let's just take water, for example. Behind every single cup of coffee you drink is a truly staggering amount of it. It takes about 140 liters of water to grow, process, and get the beans ready for just one cup.
And the impact doesn't stop there, not by a long shot. The demand for coffee has led to massive deforestation, to clear land. Modern sun-grown farming, where you just grow coffee in direct sunlight instead of under a natural forest canopy, is terrible for the soil. On top of that, processing the beans pollutes local water sources. And that's all before you even think about the carbon emissions from shipping it all over the world.
This brings us to the human cost. And in response to all these issues, a movement for ethical coffee started to grow. It's all about pushing for a system that treats farmers fairly, protects the environment, and makes sure the people actually growing our coffee get paid a fair price for their hard work.
And the difference this makes financially is just dramatic. For a pound of standard coffee, a farmer might get a piece of the export price that's worth about $1.45. But for ethically sourced coffee, that can jump to over $5. We're talking more than tripling the farmer's income. It's a huge deal.
So when you look at these huge environmental and social challenges, you have to ask, what does the future actually hold for our favorite morning ritual? Can we keep enjoying coffee the way we do now?
Well, the honest answer is coffee is in trouble. The very existence of our daily brew is being threatened by what's really a perfect storm of environmental pressures.
Climate change is the #1 threat. Rising temperatures and unpredictable rainfall are shrinking the areas where coffee can even grow. In fact, some experts are predicting that by 2050, up to half of the land we currently use for coffee could become totally unsuitable for it. And that's on top of new pests, diseases, and ongoing water and soil problems.
But okay, it's not all doom and gloom. There is definitely hope on the horizon. Scientists are developing new climate-resilient coffee plants. Farmers are going back to sustainable shade-grown methods that actually help protect ecosystems. And maybe most importantly, you, the consumer, are demanding more ethical options, and that's driving real change all the way through the industry.
The story of coffee is still being written. The journey from that one dancing goat in Ethiopia all the way to the cup in your hand is an incredibly complex one. And the choices that farmers, companies, and all of us make today are going to decide the future of this global ritual. Which really leaves us with one last big thought. What will your morning coffee look like in 2050?